Howdy folks, Zethios here, and welcome back to Tyranny. When last we left off, we had made it to Lethian's Crossing. And between episodes, I've been selling off stuff and buying up stuff. Mostly scrolls to fill out the sigil stuff. I go in here, we have lightning, frost, and fire now to go along with force and illusion. And we still have the same two expressions, but we do have some new accents as well. Or is this just the same one? Yes, it's the same one. So we got 3 new cores, basically, and we'll experiment with those as needed. But we accidentally went through and asked them about the seal. Turns over his head and shakes his head. Doesn't look like any seal I've encountered. Sorry. Someone else might know, though. That's a mistake, Fred. You won't find any lower prices elsewhere. Yeah, whatever. Alright. I think it was Bastila we'd talked to. Said she might know something. Yeah. Can't say I recognize, but I really don't really get into the affairs outside of Lathan's Crossing unless I have to. Bronze might, though he seems to be well traveled. So that led us to this guy. Baitbiter, come to Starcop, I see. Alright, so he's at our service. Let's talk about the seal. Let's take a look, shall we? Takes the seal, turns it over. When he spots the insignia, he quickly deposits it back into your hand and wipes his palms clean. Where did you get that? Came from a merchant caravan that was ransacked. Suspected as much, he mumbles and worries his brow. So far off the normal trading routes, but why there? Why then? Why now? Maybe you can start by telling me about the merchants. Your focus is on you and nods. Of course, the sigil belongs to the Hand Over Quill Merchant Company. His lips tighten to form a violent pucker. Alright, tell me more about Hand Over Quill. There once a powerful trade organization that, well, he cups his mouth and glances around. Let's just say that you didn't want to get between them and a contract. The Tunon's new laws in the bastard city, the Quills slunk into the shadows of Kairos' authority, trying to keep a lower profile. If you're involved with any of their dealings, stay far away. A shipment of iron and weapons went missing. It was found with this seal in a house in Echo Hill's Crossing. He strokes the shadow of beard growth under his chin. Suspicious, I agree, but war always has its little problems. He waves a dismissal. It doesn't add up. Now, if we can return to the subject of my wares, he smiles and readies to show you some fancy bauble. The weapons were meant for the disfavored, and the Vindrian Guard suddenly had iron weapons. Oops, shit. Sorry. Vindrian Guard drums his fingers on his mouth and considers, well, this changes things, I suppose. Changes things? What does Hand Over Quill have to do with the Vindrian Guard? First things first, he clears his throat. This will come at a price. If something unfortunate took place, my connection were traced back to me, the consequences would be costly. So we can pay him 1,000 rings, which is not going to happen. You know, so we can intimidate him or we can be sneaky about it. I think that we're going to be sneaky about it. You know, I'm shocked to find an honest merchant like yourself engaging in an illicit trade. His complexion loses some colors. Illicit? Whatever do you mean? That bottle, essence of maizenberry, is a deadly poison. What bottle? Merchant turns, pulling on the end of his beard. He tries to follow the direction of a gesture. There's no. Then his confusion clears, replaced by stark understanding. Of course there's a bottle. And after you tell the authorities that I must have stashed or destroyed it, then it's your word against mine. Am I correct? Most perceptive of you. Occupational hazard. The merchant lets out a heavy sigh. I should be used to this by now. If you breathe a word of this to anyone, I will denounce you for the liar that you are. But he looks around to make sure there are no settlers close enough to overhear what is being said. I received instructions from Fifth Eye to use Hand Over Quill to deliver iron weapons to Vanderwall Citadel. I don't question my orders, I just follow through. I don't know anything else, and that's the truth. Alright. So, Fifth Eye. Scarlet Chorus. Scarlet Chorus used that company to give the iron weapons to the enemy. You've got to be kidding me, guys. They use this little rebellion to try and take each other out. What dummies. Alright, so we've already been in that dude's house. Melita still doesn't want to talk to us, I don't think. Says good day. She said good day, sir. Alright. We got two... Dang it, I did that again. We got the Old Walls entrance or Sunset Spire. Go ahead and grab this.
Might we not simply break it?
Make cloth bracers and some stuff. Let's go up here. Also, I figured this out in between recordings. There's a slightly fast mode. By pressing the numpad. During clear mornings, the western waterfall reflects the rising sun in a beautiful display of color. Alright. Nothing to look at here.
Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Interesting.
Eastern waterfall. Though it cascades down alone, some settlers believe that the waterfall is split from a single source somewhere above the old walls. Alright, let's have a look at what's in there. We have Akon's bronze sword. It's a fine bronze sword. Alright, let's keep having a look around. Alright, so now we're in Moonrise. What's different about the districts? Let's just grab what we can. This is an RPG, damn it. Alright, let's go house to house, see what's what. The walls appear to have been damaged years ago, but was never properly repaired. Alright, we can talk to anybody? In here, we're just going to take their mead. And a Warren's shortbow. And looks better. Has accuracy plot too. Less range. Definitely take. Definitely that in. That puts us at 13 to 15 to 16 to 20. And it gets us down to 4 seconds. Alright. Sweet. So yeah, I can't talk to anybody. Eldian is our true leader. True leader of what? Of the town? Yeah, it's telling me about numpad. Could have used that a little earlier. Especially when we're being sneaky. Alright, so that tells us anywhere else to go? Oh, there's lots of places to go. Biotis. Evander, Felix, and Mares. Alright, we reached a maximum number of camping supplies. That's always something.
Do you have eyes on this?
Alright, we got Staggering Burn. Babel Root. Ringdropper. Sarantha. Alright, let's go in here. Just breaking and entering. I'm sure the Bronze Brotherhood won't take any offense to this whatsoever.
Got it.
Alright. Phaedra and Dea. A bright-faced woman greets you as you approach. Welcome to Lethian's Crossing, Wanderer. My name is Phaedra, and this is my beautiful wife, Dea. She indicates the stone-faced blonde woman standing next to her, who holds up her hand in a quick greeting. What brings you to town? Is there anything we can help you with? Yeah, I guess you can just tell her about Lethian's Crossing. Lived here most of my life, but honestly, I'm not sure there's much to say. She looks contemplative. We're a center for trade and a waypoint for travelers. The walls are a little scary, but once you get used to them, you get used to them over time. Thanks a day. What about you, dear? Dea shrugs, her expression never changing. What is there to say? The town is alright, but living under the thumb of an occupying force makes it hard to truly relax. Vader puts her hand on Dea's shoulder and Dea sighs. Sorry we couldn't be more help. She shrugs sheepishly. Alright, you haven't always lived here. Several years before Kairos' invasion, I moved away from Lethian's Crossing. Being a granddaughter of Lethian came with a responsibility I wasn't ready for. I met Dea in the Bastard City and decided to stay for a while. We were living in the Bastard City when we heard about Kairos' forces moving to the tiers, so we took that as our motivation to move, she laughs. I think we got out of there just at the right time. We traveled a bit with a couple of caravans, but nothing really seemed like home until we returned to Lethian's Crossing. You never realize how much you can miss a place until you've been away for a while. She wraps her arms around Dea and squeezes. But I could live anywhere as long as this one is with me. Aww. It's true that trade hasn't been as vibrant here recently, but I'm sure it's simply a temporary setback. The merchants will sing and dance for you, trying to convince you their suppliers are unaffected, but everyone is feeling it. I have faith the world will set itself right soon enough. People call me a fool, but I don't see the benefit of bemoaning your fate. You take what life hands you and you make it work. You're Lathan's granddaughter. One of many, I suspect, but I'm the only one anyone knows about. And before you ask, no, Eldian is not my father. Maybe you haven't heard, but my grandmother wasn't exactly the settling down type. Alright, what's your opinion of the Bronze Brotherhood? I haven't had any real problems with them. They might be a little rough around the edges, but they seem to be trying to help the city. They can all hang. Dea interrupts, her face showing a first bit of true emotion since the conversation started. I've seen nothing but misery where they interfere. If you have the coin, they'll do anything. They're thieves and murderers, and I can't wait to see them trampled. She emphasizes her words by spitting on the ground between her feet. Dea, Phaedra says, consoling her. I'm sorry about that. I do my best to make our lives here as easy as I can. But there's only so much you can do to alleviate the pain of the past. I don't think that will ever be fixed. Well, thanks for your time. Anytime, traveler, she says happily. If you need anything else, just let me know. Alright. We stole all we could steal from you. Alright, so that's a little interesting conversation. Lets us know a little bit about this place. Alright, let's talk to Biotis. Welcome, friend. The merchant cries out to you, his belt jingling with rings. He waves his arms around in a dramatic presentation of his wares. What brings you to my humble trading post? Have a certain something in mind or just browsing? Sure, what do you got? Take a look. Got iron, forge iron. Alright, we know one of those sigils. We'll take the other one. Volcanic. And I'm not going to be going in for weapons right now. Starting to run a little low. We got two scrolls that we don't have enough lore yet. One's 75, one's 80. Okay, so this is an accent. Causes a material force spell to grant burning strikes that damages targets in a line. Alright, cool. We'll go ahead and learn that. Alright, we got a bunch of people to talk to. Alright, so we got another house to look at. I'm assuming it's a house. Could be a tavern or something. Or a forge. Got plans, Headhunter. These plans detail how to forge the mythical blade known as Headhunter. This item can be created with access to a Spire Forge upgrade and proper materials. Oh, cool. New Spire Forge plan available. We got some a forge-bound hammer. It's one-handed. These worn iron weapons look as if they've been recently repaired and are being ready to be shipped back out. Master of casting, master of tempering. This armor is newly made by the forge-bound. It is still warm to the touch. It's hot. Don't touch it. Let's talk to Barrick. Only the slightest nod of Barrick's domed helm offers any indication that the soldier noticed your approach. So, didn't turn out like you hoped, did it? On the contrary, I expected little else from the court. The Archon's decision changes nothing. I have persevered to this point. I shall continue to do so for the sake of General Ash and the North. There must be another way. Your master was very specific in his sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the Forge Bound, but from anyone, anywhere in the world. The Archon pervading the subject of Kairos to aid you. You split hairs, Binder. The whole of the world bends the knee to the Overlord. And if that were the case, we wouldn't be in the tears, would we? Well, in favor of this letter. Perhaps some other way to free you will present itself. Your optimism does you credit, Fatebinder, though I fear it misapplied. Regardless, we shall speak with the Forge-bound if only to know what our options are. There are no options other than deference to the Overlord, but if you insist on dragging us before the Forge-bound, you will find their primary workshop in Lethian's Crossing, which is here. Alright, he bows his head to you and moves away, trailing behind him the wafting reek of a fetid privy. Good lord, Barrack. Ugh. Alright, let's talk to the Master of Casting. Eulantis surveys the room with an air of superiority. He addresses you without making eye contact. Is there something you want? You know, what are you doing in the forge? I keep things running smoothly. Upkeep mostly. He smiles coyly. I'm also second in command to Lohara, so in case anything ever happens her, I'm here to take charge. I think that's if anything ever happens to her. Alright, is there a problem? Yes, but these are forge-bound matters. Nothing concerns the High Court of Tuanon, I can assure you. Okay. Let's talk to Lohara. Lohara, a muscular woman, stands upright from her forge and turns to look at you, the light of the fire playing across her face, making her eyes dance dangerously. A toothy smile breaks across her mouth, the only bright spot on her soot-stained face. Do you kill with your left hand or your right? She rubs blackened palms together, eyeing you expectantly. Normally I could tell at a glance, but you're a little harder to read. Is that how they say hello in your hometown? Do you also answer questions with questions? She flashes more pearly teeth and chuckles softly to herself. It's a simple question, child. When you swing a tool to end another life, which hand do you use? Why would you like to know? The gauntlet is the hardest piece of the panoply and the most rewarding to work. So many scales of so many different sizes. Then there's the rivets. She slides her thumb and fingers together, shedding flecks of soot and iron dust. I imagine you see a lot of battle in your line of work. One gauntlet is invariably going to wear out before the other. My mind is always thinking on what will need repairs first. It's as simple as that. Alright. We'll make the Zethios left-handed. Noted. She grips her belt and cinches it, rattling the picks, awls, and pliers that dangle from its various hooks. I am Lohara, master of tempering, the forge master of Lethian's Crossing. My task is to see the hours left in the day, but there is no harm in pausing my work if it means speaking with an honorable Fatebinder. How may I be of assistance? Can you make something for me? Can. She lifts an eyebrow. Most certainly. Will? Well, Kairos invented cues for a reason. She lets slip a sigh. I have every Iron Walker and every Scarlet Chorus ringleader sending me bribes and flattery in hopes that I'll work off schedule and make them some special this or one of a kind of that. Her mouth moves as if to speak, but she falls silent, folding her arms. Yeah, I did not realize the request was so thoughtless. My apologies. I get unreasonable demands every day, but it's not the volume, it's the purpose. She lowers her voice to a near whisper and steps closer to you. I do resent that Kairos' demands reduce our work to mere quotas. I should be allowed to customize my work for every soldier. Only apprentices have anything to learn from making the same size helmet again and again. Forget I asked. That I will. Alright. I'm going to talk to you about Barrack. What about him?
Why did you bring us here, Fatebinder?
Official business of the court.
I never know if you mean what you say.
His helm grinds against his cuirass and he glances away. Fatebinder, what brings you to the forge? Lahara sets down her hammer, then wipes her hand on her aprons, an action that serves only to further muddle the sweat ensued on both. I hoped you would examine Barrick. Did the adjudicator not issue an injunction against precisely that action? Indeed, he sent the decision by bird to each of the guild workshops. If you merely look them over, that's not exactly against the adjudicator's decree, is it? Allow me to state that in no uncertain terms, Fatebinder, the Forge-born swore our allegiance to tune on the adjudicator, our crown of justice. We do not easily forget that oath, nor do we rush to circumvent it. Our fastidiousness is not limited to our craft. Loyalty to an oath looks like this, Fatebinder, in case you had forgotten. Alright, I don't suppose you know any skilled smiths who lack your ironclad sense of loyalty? Behind the obscurity of his helm, you can hear Barrick grinding his teeth. You ask me to be an accomplice to your crime? There may be an individual who can help you. Rumor has it that there's a mage smith of some manner in the Stone Sea. By all rights, she should have been killed, so I assume that she's worked out a deal with that glowing green bastard Narat. I can't provide you with a name, but you might ask around Halfgate if you have the misfortune of being in that area. I appreciate it. Goodbye, Fatebinder. As far as I'm concerned, this conversation never occurred. Alright. I'll talk to you about one more thing. You have returned. Alright. There is always more demand for iron than there is time of day. Okay, I think we've heard that before. Are you well? You look weary. Ecstatic, her voice is a matter of fact, and a smile creeps in. The ritual of the forge links heart to hammer. My blood beats only when I strike my ingot. My forge runs too hot for my breath becomes too hurried. If my breath becomes too hurried, the bond is both fatiguing and exhilarating. Is that how you excel at your craft? Well, that in practice, she scowls. But yes, the rituals link the senses to the materials and the body to the tools. My hand becomes a joint, the hammer the true end of my arm. I feel the heat of the forge as if it were the weather of the room. Under such circumstances, true focus can emerge. Couldn't that kill you? I should hope so, she laughs, her face blushing the color of molten metal. Better than being defiled and killed by brigands, poisoned by grain rot, or slain by childbirth. Would not a soldier wish to die in battle? Fascinating. Alright, well, I must be going. Okay. So we got a bit of progression there with barrack stuff. It's Zethios is sees a challenge in removing barracks armor. Alright, so we can talk to them or we can head in here. Let's head in here. And I think we'll almost have seen everything there is to see in Lethian Crossing. Hello. What do we got? Raven Shawl. Of rogues, plus 10 subterfuge. A feathered garment reflects no light and seems a natural extension of the darkness. Sure. Alright. Wouldn't recommend going inside. Forgeman won't sell anything to us settlers. The back wall of this home has long since crumbled away, revealing the old walls behind it. Alright, so they're right up against the wall. Yikes. It's an interesting place. I think it'd be built higher. But maybe they can't go past a certain point of the walls. I don't know. Alright, we got the lower floor of this place to look at. We got a sanctuary for Siren. We got the leader of the village. We still have the old walls entrance to look into. And we got all this whole lower area to look at. We'll try and get through this as quickly as possible. Evander, I'm glad you came along, Fatebinder. Now that you're here, we can settle this. Why do we need a Fatebinder for this? It's such a trivial matter. Trivial? We were almost killed. Alright, tell me what's going on. Felix sent me and the mares to the old walls for materials. Now, I know the old walls are dangerous, but Felix said he had on good authority that there was no danger. Felix was going to make an axe for each of us in return. I couldn't pass it up. A forge-bound axe costs a lot of rings normally. Hey, forge-bound magic is just as dangerous, you know. It's not my fault the most reliable, stable materials happen to be found near the old walls. And besides, those axes you were getting in payment were exceptional compensation for the task. So you sent these two near the old walls. The best materials are found near the old walls, and good materials hard to come by. There's no way I could do it all myself. I'd never get any forging done, and my master is very particular about meeting production quotas. It was a fair trade for their service. Plus, it's not like forging items using those materials is perfectly safe either. One error and you're a pile of ash on the floor. Have you sent anyone else to the old walls before? Well, I've never ordered anyone to go inside. They might have, but I have no way of knowing for sure, you see. Alright, so it's one of the forge boundary where the old walls are off limits? Yes, of course, Fateminder. But surely there's room for some flexibility in that law. After all, I'm sure that Kairos would want us to produce only the best arms and armor for his armies. Alright, Mayors, how did you get involved? I've known Felix since before the conquest, and when he told me about the job, I agreed to do it, no questions asked. It's nothing I hadn't done for him before. While I was out gathering the materials, I was ambushed by scourges. If Evander hadn't came along when he did, I'd have died. Alright, is there any danger previous jobs? No, not really. A few wild animal encounters, but nothing like this. You aware that old wall is off limits? Sort of, but I wasn't planning to go inside, just near enough to get materials Felix needed. Alright, Evander. I'm not one of the disfavored, so I know getting my hands on genuine forge-bound items is damn hard, naturally. I jumped at the chance to do the job for Felix. I mean, it was just gathering materials, after all. I didn't expect to find Bane all over the damn place. Luckily, I've dealt with Bane before and was able to fight my way out. I managed to rescue Maris while I was retreating. You done this sort of job for Felix before? Yes, I've done similar jobs. This is the first one that's taken me anywhere near the old walls, though. I figured Felix knew what he was about, though, or that he'd gotten the go-ahead from his master. Did you go inside the old walls? Hesitates noticeably before answers. Yes, only for a moment to look around, then right back out. Couldn't have been more than a minute. Alright, let's make our decision then. We'll go along with your judgment no matter what you decide. Alright, Felix, you did a thing. So we can say no punishment was needed. No punishment is needed because everyone got out of it okay. Felix, we could say you can strip him of his status. We can sentence all of them to menial labor, or we can tell Felix to forge additional items. I think Felix gave him a raw deal and wasn't giving him privy to all the information of the job, so they definitely demand more compensation for what they did. But that would use up all the materials I have, including what they brought back. I have nothing left to complete my other projects. Too bad, but that's what the Fatebinder ruled. We'll be by later with our request. I've been wanting a new dagger. Most merciful and most productive answer. Killing Felix seems a waste of exceptional talent, so why not put that talent to use instead? Alright. Alright, thanks for your comment, Lantry. Alright, let's head down here. We got some stuff to look at. And maybe find. There's a little camp over here. Golly, there's a lot of Bronze Brotherhood. What do we got? Heavy leather, broken hilt. Oh, we can investigate the broken hilt. I thought it was just like something we could sell for spare parts.
But I'll try.
Alright, Lantry's
Sorry,
level
I
6.
can't.
I hope these levels even out soon, because it's getting kind of ridiculous. There's 6, 5, and 4 on people. Hello, pig and dog. Best of friends. Alright, we got another merchant. Take a look at this
Might we not
first.
simply break it?
Alright, fine day, my friend. Might interest you in my wares. Yeah. See if you can find something you like. She's an armorer. Anything specific? named. We got merchant's bracers. We have merchant boots. And there's nothing really special about them. We got a warrior's girdle. +10 athletics. But not worth grabbing at this point in time. Because we only have that much money, so... Yeah, ring dropper and some places to look at. Should we look at the... Is it 2? Let's go up here. We know we have, what's-his-face's house. And Siren's Sanctuary. So I think those will probably take up a lot of time. Versus the ring dropper. Let's talk to her. Alright, the second brother regards you with a cautious expression. The Fatebinder of Tudon. Yes, welcome to Lethian's Crossing. My name is Ring Dropper Saratha, and I am Pokemon's second brother. What can I do for you? I have to ask, where did Ring Dropper come from? She laughs and turns red. I earned the nickname during the night of my first victory with the Brotherhood. We decided to celebrate and we drank a lot. During that drinking and celebrating, Pokemon showed up. I was so nervous and drunk seeing him that I tripped and all the rings I had just earned scattered everywhere. I was terrified he was going to be mad about the drunkenness, but he just laughed it off and called me a ring dropper, and the name stuck. Alright, I guess tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. She raises her chin as she speaks. We're the largest and most battle-ready mercenary group in the tiers. Lethian herself hired us to protect the settlers when she first founded the town, and this group has been here ever since. It's our home. Kairos' forces tried to remove us when they invaded, but we let them know we won't go quietly. Alright, so what are your thoughts on Pokemon? She sighs and considers her words for a bit before answering. He is efficient, she grimaces. He has become a little unstable lately, but so far he has yet to do anything to make me really worry. He's more paranoid than normal, since there have been sightings of Kairos' scouts in the area, but I think anyone would feel threatened by that. Alright, farewell. Okay. So, I think we'll leave that next time. So, I'm not going to go inside Old Wall's entrance. It's, like, expressly forbidden, apparently, for us to do so under the law. But... yeah, there's still Melita here, which we have no idea what that's worth. But we have Siren Sanctuary to look into in Eldian's house. And I'm sure Eldian's house is talking to him to get permission to go into the Old Walls. So before we head off, let's upgrade our friend here. So Resolve goes into Lore, two-headed weapons. This one goes into Dodge, Lore, Parry, Magic Staff, Subterfuge, Control Illusions, Control Life, Control Vigor. So I think... let's get his health, like, to even. At this point. And then we can... Arcane Armor, Magic Defense. Improves Control Vigor. I think we'll go with the erase the record. Alright. Alright, any new evidence? Yeah. Use bronze to funnel weapons. Yeah, that was the evidence that we found there. I think that's the only new stuff that we found so far. Barrick starting to be pretty even between him fearing us and him being loyal. Alright, we did get a new Sigil Volcanic Weapon. I don't know. We can recruit people. So it tells us like what they can do. Has the ability to change what skills you're proficient in. Swindler, who's able to acquire valuable items, left unattended. Field trainer who teaches use a magical staff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look into that definitely more deeper. We don't have any messages from Tunon to look at. So we'll see if we get into Old Walls next time. So till next time, this has been Zethios signing out for now. Bye, folks.